pizzazz. Of course we have pizzazz. Do you remember when they made a drink? Oh, they made a drink when there used to be an open mic at what is now State Social House on Sunset. It used to be Red Rock.
Red Rock.
They used to do an open mic there.
When
and Stretch used to work there.
Yeah.
And Stretch would ask, he was bartending. He'd be like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, I really don't want anything with alcohol in it. I was like, maybe just make me a Shirley Temple. He's like, I'll put some Red Bull in it for you. And I was like, yeah. So he made me a Shirley Temple with Red Bull. And he named it after me. He started calling it the Candice Thompson with pizzazz. And that's just, because I add pizzazz to stuff. And that's what
I don't even know how to respond to that.
I'm sorry.
It didn't move me. I thought it was a bad name. I wanted to be supportive.
He named it after me.
I know, that was why I wanted to be supportive.
That's why it's bad?
But no, I didn't. No, that was the supportive part. The bad part was the pizzazz part.
There's pizzazz.
It just sounds like an 80s t-shirt store that you don't want to buy anything from.
Wow.
Pizzazz.
Brenda.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Pizzazz is kind of an 80s word.
Yeah.
I think because it sounds like
Shazam.
Jazz. I was going to say it sounds like jazz.
Yeah, like hands are going like this.
Right.
And I don't see you like that.
Ed and I.
Maybe you could have called it stank.
Ed and I talk about having all types of pizzazz all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe I have stank with you, but with Ed it turns into pizzazz. It just depends on who I'm with.
That would make sense because I have no agenda at all.
Have we been recording this whole time? Perfect. This is the random foolishness that happens at the beginning of the show just gets longer and longer every time we record.
It gets more random right from the beginning. And it gets a little normalized by the time they press record.
That is true. That's the intro, guys. I'm not even going to intro the show anymore. Let's just get into it. No.
Yeah.
Wait. No, not yet. Hold on. Hold on. Shut up.
Ed, I miss you.
That was a callback to a joke, to an anecdote I was telling them before the show started. Anyway, you guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I'm Candice Thompson. Thank you for coming back and listening and watching now because we're up on YouTube. If you had not heard that little bit of information, we are on YouTube now. You can watch videos and make sure you subscribe to that. To all of my loyal fans, thank you for coming back. And to my new ones, thank you for joining. You're in for a pizzazzy ride.
Again, it just kind of hurts my insides. I don't know.
Pizzazzy.
Yeah.
I made it even worse.
It makes me feel like I have shoulder pads on.
Yeah. That's great.
Some bedazzles on my jeans. I'm uncomfortable.
That's something we would have shot for Creepy Caress, and you know it. So don't even make it sound like it's bad. It's hilarious.
Fine.
You can't even
I'll let you have
look at
that.
you.
Sure, show.
Look at you.
It's
trying to steal. You a pizzazz stealer.
Yeah, okay.
You're like that cat in Cat. What was that movie we used to make fun of from like the 80s? It was the Cat's Eye.
Firestarter?
No, Cat's Eye. Where there was a cat that would go and try and steal.
I'm the little guy that steals the breath.
Oh no, the troll. Yeah, you're stealing my pizzazz in the middle of the night. You're coming over me and you're like
coming in on your podcast like this. You ain't special.
That
you
is correct.
Ain't shit.
You don't have pizzazz. You never had pizzazz. Your mama don't have pizzazz. Like, why, Brenda?
And your daddy lies to you.
So you can't steal my pizzazz.
No, I'm not trying to.
Thanks, guys.
Give me a bad rap.
For coming back. And if you have not subscribed on YouTube, do that. Go on iTunes, subscribe. Also, rate and review us on iTunes, and also tell somebody about this podcast. If you are enjoying this regularly, do us a solid and tell somebody. Tell somebody. Tell your mama. I can be found on social media, Jokes by Candice. You can also find me on CandiceThompsonComedy.com for all my show dates. Now I'm going to introduce my fantastic co-host.
Thank you.
Brenda Colonna.
Thank you very much. You can find me on Instagram at Brenda Colonna. And I want to plug something else. I have something else to plug. Wow. Ed, so I went off social media and the whole thing. And so I went dark. But
off the grid.
I am on Instagram. And and this is partial, like a half struggle. I'd like to combine them.
Okay.
Is there a word merger for that? A plug and a struggle?
A pluggle.
Okay, I'd like to make a pluggle if that's okay. So I've started a nonprofit community called Like Minds. It's a community that helps all artists who struggle from mental illness. We access free healthcare, we access classes for meditation, and we access or give classes for physical fitness classes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so my struggle is that I need some money.
Oh, so there we go.
Here's the plug.
Sorry, we can't help you.
No. the plug is for the listeners who enjoy the podcast. And if there's anything that I can do or say to help anybody, the way you give back is to go to our Like Minds Patreon. That's how do you spell Patreon?
Patreon.
/I am of like mind. And so if you could go there and give, we're looking to try to make about $1,500 a month to be able to sustain, get the website, get the materials, get graphics, and move forward to find strategic partners. So even like something like $10 a month will start helping save our community downtown.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Also, artists, most of us have mental illness. So and that would be a great resource.
Yeah, I just want to say when it's artists, it's across the board. It's like comedians, musicians, painters, all types of artists that will have access to free healthcare, which is the most important.
That's great. Yeah.
And then there's like a program of tiers to be able to strive and be able to have equanimity within the community to gain mentorship and sponsorship for your own shows and things like that. So it'll be really good to change the stigma against mental illness and artists.
Look at Brenda giving back.
Yeah.
You got to give it back.
Yeah, Ed, I stopped being an asshole. I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll be the judge of that?
I hadn't noticed. I'm sorry. It's like you get a new haircut or something. I'm sorry.
Well, I wore the asshole so predominantly before, so I would wonder if...
Wait, hold on. Let me intro.
Okay.
You guys, this is... And now I have to introduce our hilarious guest for the day, Ed Greer, comedian.
Welcome, Ed Greer.
Artiste extraordinaire, and I believe he probably also has mental illness.
I was going to say a good candidate for free mental health care, I think.
Yeah.
So if you could afford $10 a day, you'd be paying for, well, it's essentially your own free health care, but also helping other people.
So that was you pitched me Patreon just now?
Yeah. How'd it go?
Oh.
Yeah, I think it kind of fell for a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, you smiled at the free health care.
No, I considered... Thank you, first of all, for having me on.
Of course.
For you guys. I got to say, I have been around these two people, for you two people. I've been around these two people, but not with each other for years.
In a long
like 5 years.
It's a long
like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I saw you by yourself a few years ago.
Did we?
And it feels
At a show.
So good.
We were at the beach. I think you might have even.
Did I stop right? We were at the beach? Was I living at the beach?
No, we were doing like...
She was living on the beach?
One of those Huntington Beach type shows. Like one of those type of shows.
I don't even remember.
That was the last time I saw you.
Was it an AA show?
No.
No,
I don't.
I haven't done stand-up, I don't think, in 5 years.
That was the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
That was the last time.
Insanity.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago? No. It's been a long time.
Like that.
But, Ed, plug your stuff.
Okay, at Ed Greer Destroys, but they haven't seen me do anything yet.
They're about to
do something. No, okay.
You did.
Okay, fine. What
are you talking? We do both.
At Ed Greer Destroys on Twitter, and at Ed Greer Destroys.
We're all yelling at each other like
Instagram.
we've seen each other. We know each other idiots. Ed, shut up and just plug your shit. Damn it, Ed. God, you always fuck up in the beginning.
I know. And throughout. No, I'm consistent. No, okay. Ed.Greer. Ed, that's my email address. Email me pitches. Pitch me all your shit.
I was like, you plug worse than me, and I don't know. I can't even believe that exists, because I plug so bad I don't plug, and you superseded that.
No, that's not true, because like I just say Ed Greer Destroys on all social media. And that's what usually what I say. But you guys have got me all flustered.
I'm sorry.
With your bullshit, because the tag team is back.
We are. I can handle team back again.
We're like those dinosaurs from fucking what are those? At Jurassic Park, those two dinosaurs that travel together and they come on each side and attack.
I don't know.
Oh, Velociraptors.
Yeah, we're like Velociraptors.
Get an idea of what you're talking about. I don't remember them specifically.
Clever girl.
How do you say them?
Velociraptors.
They're raptors?
Yeah.
I'll never say that right.
It's a good thing you don't ever actually have to say it again. Yeah. That's one of those words.
I don't want you to.
You never have to say dinosaur's name.
You know what?
Never have to.
I try to say that name often, actually. I only have like 4 references in my pocket.
You know what?
Spears and Velociraptors.
Raptor.
Hey, those are Velociraptors that are up in the rafters, but they jump down and fuck your shit up.
Yes.
They're ninja Velociraptors.
They are.
Yeah, they have bleachers for claws.
So you just made a portmanteau. That's fine.
Yeah.
Velociraptor.
Rafter.
Patreon /I am at Mike Like Mine.
The only time you ever ever have to say that word, I think, is when you see someone that looks like one, which doesn't happen often. You know, you'll see somebody that looks like a velociraptor. You're like, oh.
They're always walking in like this.
Yeah.
Like a little tiny
I see
hand.
people that look like T-Rexes all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ed, thank you for coming. Well, first of all, you will be on, you taped for Comedy Central last year, New Negroes.
It seems like it didn't happen.
Because it was so long ago.
I mean, honestly, I felt as though I know when it comes out, people are going to be like, this is dope.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm just,
Yeah.
But I've had it in my bio.
I'm just waiting.
No, but I've had it in my Twitter bio, like, yeah, boy, but the
And then people are Googling New Negroes, and they're like, this never happened.
Yeah, it's like,
And I understand.
bunch of variety articles and shit.
Yes.
I understand because I started a virtual reality business that makes a spiritual virtual reality. And it's amazing. It's a powerful experience, and it's got a website and all this, but I haven't been able to go to market because the headsets haven't matched the economy, like the state of the tech, really.
Right.
And so it's just waiting. It's just sitting
Hurry
there.
up and wait.
Yeah, so like every time, everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, oh, I got this business. Like, where?
Yeah.
It hasn't gone out. It's been 2
it's there.
years, and you're just sitting there.
It's there.
Well, don't you feel like, but that's what LA is. LA is like always being on Shark Tank. Because all your motherfucking friends rolling up to you talking about, yeah, boy, what you working on? It's like, all right, this is the pitch. Lemon, lime, Mountain Dew. And then they got that shit now by the fucking way. It's just Sprite. You niggas just made Sprite.
Is it just Sprite?
It's just Sprite.
Yeah, lemon and lime and Sprite.
Mountain Dew's brilliant. No, Mountain Dew.
No, Mountain Dew wasn't the same.
Mountain Dew tastes.
No. Mountain Dew made a thing that is basically just like Sprite.
Oh, that's new?
Yeah.
But you're still in the soda game?
Oh. Wait.
I'm not in the soda game.
You still playing with soda?
Now, I've seen people, okay, my man Ron Swallow still drinks soda occasionally.
Wait, they really have Mountain Dew has a product now that is just like Sprite.
It's called like Mountain Dew Ice, some shit like that. And and they've urbanized it. Mountain Dew, they don't skateboard no more unless it's urban. You know what I mean? Unless it's urban cool skateboard.
I don't understand that campaign.
They're not extreme anymore. That's what I'm saying. They're not 90s extreme.
There are no urban
Mountain Dew.
skateboarders.
Mountain Dew used to be extreme sports.
But yeah, they do extreme sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's all basketball. And it's like a motherfucker skateboard up and dunk on your ass.
know their market.
Because they know that Sprite somehow turned into black people soda.
Right.
So now they're,
You guys are off grape drink?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, Nick DiPaolo. Jesus.
I don't know who that is.
First of all, we will never be off grape drink. Don't you put that on us. All right.
Grape drink
forever.
Grape drink.
Grape drink forever. But that was definitely.
Forgot how ballsy I am, Ed? Room full of black people.
See, she hasn't changed.
Oh, no.
I got good in my heart.
Hey, you know what? Don't let anything erode that steely thing in you.
Unless it's Mountain Dew, because that's a good at erosion.
That's what
You want your stomach
Drink it
lining
once.
to erode, drink some Mountain Dew. You can clean your toilet with it.
You kill dead bodies with it.
You could
clean dead bodies with it. What's it called when you disintegrate dead bodies?
Oh, acid. When you pour like they did in Breaking Bad.
I ain't saying nothing else about Mountain Dew. I was on Screen Junkies and I said some shit about Mountain Dew and the chat lit up like Christmas. It was like, you motherfucker. Don't you
hate on Mountain Dew.
You could. It was like that scene in Malcolm X where he slams the bottle down and is about to jab it.
Yes.
He's like, don't you say anything against my mother.
The way that people feel so passionately for things, again, like we were talking about sports and how we don't understand how people get so attached to sports. Like, you have nothing to do with this. You didn't create it. You're not on the court. You don't have a relative that's playing. And I'm not knocking anybody I just don't understand it. Why you have this unbridled loyalty to something that you have no attachment to. Yeah.
Man, tribalism's real.
Yeah, but Mountain Dew, I told you how on the previous episode, Brenda, how I got attacked because I said I was doing like an alkaline diet and I don't eat broccoli. And people were like,
there's not even a brand for broccoli.
No.
You know what I mean?
Broccoli
It's just
outrage.
a vegetable.
Broccoli outrage.
It's like air. Like, don't you be saying shit about air.
Why not?
It's free.
You don't have to eat it. I don't have to eat. You can't eat it if you want to. It doesn't make a difference. And you also
with the broccoli lobby.
People can fuck with you on broccoli lobby. You are also you do a lot of with Screen Junkies.
Yeah, Screen Junkies is a YouTube channel that has about 6 million subscribers and a very strong and pretty intelligent subscriber base. But boy, when I
Except
said
for
that
the Mountain Dew
when I
listeners.
said that Mountain Dew comment, boy, and I had the nerve to say Venom was okay, boy, they about to
Oh, the movie Venom.
yeah.
I was like, Snake Venom?
They also
Nerve to say Venom is okay.
I was like,
there's
Venom
several,
was bad.
No, there's several drinks named Venom. Go to the store. Several drinks say Ven fucking Num.
wait, are you talking about the drink, the movie, or the snake Venom?
Dude, dealer's choice. You know what I'm saying? It's all
the
bad.
Venom.
It's all bad. That's what I'm saying.
Can I answer
right.
a question? That movie.
I didn't see the movie.
That movie was a Marvel
It was
character.
Marvel and
Because it's a
saw
character
it.
from Spider-Man.
yes.
He's like Bizarro Spider-Man.
But he was kind of good. But he was like possessed by this alien or something, right? Was that
Well, the alien was pretty bad, and it starts to get possessed by the goodness of like the dude.
It was
or some
complex.
type shit like that.
The only
Played
thing
by
was
Tom Hardy, right?
The VFX
Yeah.
were good.
And it was Topher Grace in one of the Spider.
That was in Spider-Man 3.
Three.
Yeah, he
yeah,
played
you
the-
love superheroes and shit. That's your thing.
They're cool. I
jeez.
enjoy them as well. I don't. know them
you know
much.
what? I think it's funny that now that it's mainstream culture, it's like it's not even cool to bag on it anymore because you're like bagging on regular people shit. And I just really one thing I balk at, like I am a professional nerd, and I get like basically paid to say stuff about nerd stuff and review stuff and stuff. But honestly, I kind of hate the fact that we are starting to identify ourselves by what we buy. I mean, obviously, I'm saying like nobody that hasn't been invented recently, but I'm just saying with like in Star Trek ain't a personality.
No,
like
I know, right.
Like in Star Wars is a
Right.
personality. Like in Marvel isn't a personality.
Yeah, but I blame social media because now you just no seriously you get associated with like what you post, and that's people's voices are now being heard regularly through social media, and that's the easiest way to let people know what you like, right?
Right.
So you can just post, and then all of a sudden, like now you have not fans necessarily, but other people that are like, oh, you are into this too, blah blah blah, and people can become consumed with like this presentation of what you're into as being what you are,
Yeah,
and it's like that's not
you just
good.
said it. You said consumed because they a bunch of consumers
It's
getting
true.
together. Be like, hey, we like to consume.
Yeah.
What do you consume? Well, you got a plastic Captain America shield.
Right.
That's dope. I got these fucking comic
Right.
books. What you got? I got these bed sheets. What you got? I got these movie tickets. And they do,
Who am I to talk? I have a Drake body pillow.
Is that a real thing?
Oh yes. It's not. I don't use it. I did a first post about it.
I don't use it.
I don't use it.
Let's define use it.
Is it in your house?
I do grind on it. I dry hump it. If
That's
what,
using it.
Oh, then I do use it. No, I don't. It was in my house specifically because I was going to use it in my web series because the theme of the web series, an ongoing theme, was that I was single, always single. So I was just going to be on the phone with my girl, and just in the background is a Drake body pillow that I don't even reference and that other people would just see as a joke.
Right.
But then I never use it. I shot the first episode, but not the other ones yet. And so it's just been sitting in just the pillowcase cover. I don't even have the full the pillow to go into it, but just the cover was in my closet. And then it was Valentine's Day on Thursday, and I was like, that'd be funny for me to act like I'm waking up next to my Drake body pillow. So I did some Instagram stories with my Drake body pillow. But that's funny because this now ties into my struggle for the week, which I want to get into, is people taking me seriously online. So many people take me seriously when, number one,
I just took you seriously.
Yeah.
That is great.
I mean, both of us did. We got all Charlie Rose on that ass. We was like, all right.
I didn't know where it was. I was like, am I on The View? I don't even understand. Yeah. It's
Brenda Behar.
Don't ever say that again. I'll kill myself.
I like Joy.
Yeah. Brenda Boozler, Brenda Behar. They're icons.
So
Deal
stupid.
with it.
You're referencing Elaine Boozler. For some of our listeners who don't know,
Hey, man, I'm a deep cut comedy person.
you're so stupid. What was I saying?
Taken seriously.
Being taken seriously online. Because just over the past week, what's happened is the Grammys, right, and the J-Lo performance that was heard around the world.
Like that about you.
So disrespectful.
I saw you coming back at people.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
Because they were taking me too seriously. And so I posted after the Grammys aired, they had a Motown tribute that was performed by J-Lo. Now,
She's not black.
exactly. And here's the thing is you don't have to be black. Just represent Motown. Now,
Ex-Blackly.
I said that like I was being quizzed.
You are
Like,
ex-Blackly.
wait a
right.
second. She's not black. Gold star for Brenda.
I really wanted to fit in with that. And she's not black. That's why. That's why everybody got mad.
That's why black people got mad.
Yeah.
But it's what happened after. So and here's the thing. I wasn't really mad. I was just like, God, damn it, right? Like, why does this keep happening? Like, just let Black people celebrate Blackness. Like, and people argue that, like, Phil Spector had all types of hands in Motown and, like, the original sounds of Motown. And I'm like, that may be true. And if it is, I don't give a fuck. Most of the artists were Black. And so if you're doing... And who was the biggest fan base of Motown? It was Black people. Like, that was music that was speaking to it. You can't bring up Motown and not talk about Black people. Like, you just can't. And so it was just a really interesting choice to have Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also she was like, she doesn't have soul. If you're going to pick someone else who's not Black, give somebody who has some soul. Like, Tina Marie was white chick who was part of Motown, who has a very soulful voice. You picked someone who's a pop star, a Puerto Rican pop star, to represent. So she doesn't have and she was lip syncing. She doesn't have the vocals, and she started salsaing in the middle of it.
So wait, so Puerto Rican can't be Motown?
If they are representing soul, but she's a pop star, so it's not the same.
It boils down to this: she doesn't have the range.
She doesn't have the range. She doesn't have the range. She probably doesn't know that reference, but yeah.
But
she doesn't have the range.
Makes sense in regular, real speaking.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the range.
She doesn't have the range, which is why she was lip syncing during a Motown tribute and salsing.
Oh, she was lip syncing on top of it?
She was lip syncing.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But if I may interject, the only thing I got to say, I really, as far as like who could be Black and this and that and the other, I just wish it was multiple artists.
Yes, for sure.
Do the fucking Benetton thing. Get Ronnie Spector, or get Phil Spector out of jail from shooting that lady.
Yeah, he did murder
or whatever
somebody.
the fuck. You know, bring him up on stage, have him orchestrate some shit, right? Like Timbaland.
He can do it from prison.
You know what I'm saying? Let him. Oh yeah, fuck it, video
yeah, just
hologram.
have him Skype.
Exactly. Fuck it. Yeah, do it. Mm-hmm. Right? And then you got J-Lo warbles for 2 seconds and falls into a hole.
J-Lo should not be a part of it. Yeah. Have like a trap door that she falls into.
And then some other artists pop out, and some of them dance, but the ones that's supposed to sing do what the singers really do, which is stand fucking still and get your diaphragm into that shit. And
they should have never tried to make Whitney dance. She was fine.
Well, she couldn't dance.
Well, so they tried to make her move around for a few years.
They did. She said no. Same with Mariah. They were like, do a little something. And then she just was like, no.
Yeah, they only had a 2-step anyway.
Yeah, you guys. She's like, I could do the electric slide. Is that good enough? I'll do the electric slide while I'm singing I Will Always Love You.
It was really just a few knee bends. Yeah. A few shoulder shrugs and knee bends they had. My thing about your struggle is, do people have less to do now than they did before? I thought they were busier.
I don't know, because they are online all the time. And here's the thing, like, they're always, I see people commenting so often on Instagram, and I'm like, how? And people posting Instagram stories. When you go on someone's Instagram story and you see that it's like ... at the top of their Instagram, you see how many stories they've posted. I'm like, what have you done?
I want to say something.
All day today.
I am not busy. Okay? I do nothing pretty much all day. Well, that's not true. Half nothing. And I still don't have time to look on Instagram, even at the people I want to see. You know, I don't have time to look through. Like, sometimes, like, I'll see your story, and I'll be like, "Oh, shit, the Comedy Store," but I don't have enough time to to click it and see everything you got to say. And I generally wanna.
Yeah, of course. What you do, I do this.
It's like, I imagine strangers.
Well, I talked about this before. I'm not a good fan. I've talked about this on a previous, but I'm still not going to delve into it. But I'm just bad at that. So, like, but what I will do is I will pretend I'll watch the first second of most people's Instagram stories to make it look like I watched it, just so that you're interactive on the site and that there's like algorithms so that you can be more active on it and get, you know, it just makes it look like you're more active and you'll get more views of people looking at yours if you look at theirs. Yeah. So, like, you can pretend. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to. You can just tap through it. And they don't know it. They can still, it'll still show up as you watching it, but you didn't. Found a loophole.
That makes me feel good and bad at the same time.
Well, you should. We're terrible people. So
no, because I'm like, oh, well, I'll do that. But then at the same time, like, no one's looking at me. Everybody's probably just tapping through my shit.
Probably. Yeah, no, everyone, Caleb Simon, he was on the podcast a long time ago, and he said, he had a tweet that was great. He was like, I enjoy watching the first second of all of you guys' Instagram stories. And I was like, that's exactly what, I think a lot of us do that. I think it's the actual fans that watch, but if you're a comic and you know these people, like, I don't want to see this.
But I mean to engage in an argument, like what you were saying too with yours. Like
the flame wars online, that's too much.
Yeah, who's got all that time to sit there and get mad and type in their computer? And
that's what, and people were arguing, so I didn't even get to, like, the struggle is that people saw my rant, which I did comedically. Like I went on a rant of like, these black people would have done this so much better. And it would have just been, to me, more appropriate to have a black person doing Motown, since that was most of our jams. And so I went on a rant and listed other people, but it was in a funny way. So most responses that I got were like, ha, this is hilarious. But then there was a group of people that were like, so wait a second.
Oh boy, that's where the shit starts.
Wait a second. What do you mean? So I had Mariah as being one of the artists. What do you mean? J-Lo was just as black as Mariah. And then I was like, first of all, no, she is not. And then we got into debates over Puerto Rican ancestry and how. And I was like, what? First of all, I
start pulling out maps and shit.
Yeah, like pulling out. What is it? The 1, 2, 3 or ancestry 23 and me.
Yeah.
Like
you start pulling out family trees.
Yes.
Dude, maps and that, like 23 and me and topography. Fuck that.
Like no.
Like we not
We
breaking
don't
all
need
this
this
shit
is
out.
too much. This is too much. Like we're online here. Why are you taking me so seriously? Also, no. Like J-Lo has never said she was even black. So what are we talking about?
I saw what you responded. You said dating Puffy doesn't make you black.
I did.
I thought it was funny.
Well, first of all, I posted, thank you. I posted, which was also
that's the thing I saw.
Which was also a joke, but also true. But so I said, for all of my people who are saying that J-Lo is just as black as Mariah, all I have to say is this. And I posted Mariah Carey singing Joy to the World in front of a black choir in a black church from like 96 or whenever that was. And then I followed it, dating Puffy for 3 years in the late 90s does not make you a black person.
What happened to the days when you could just say anything?
I know, I miss it.
Okay.
I miss it.
The whole point of becoming a comedian was to be able to say whatever you want without consequences.
No, I know.
And now all of a sudden,
now everyone has something to say. But what's also ruining it, I think, is that now people are being called comedians that aren't even funny. So like if you're like a social justice warrior and you're on Twitter a lot and you just have an opinion about like bad things that are happening in the world, like how white people are behaving terribly or old white men, like these people are now being considered for comedic things because they have online followings. They'll have like a bunch of Instagram followers. So now these people are being considered for like roles that comedians were considered for just because they have a voice, even though it's not funny. So now it's conflated the two. So people are confusing what is actually funny with people who just have opinions.
Imagine being a jester. Now your job is to make the king laugh, or you will die.
Yes.
And then there's an audience.
I would love if they did that
that's
now.
there, right? And so your life is on the line here, right?
Yeah.
And now you got somebody going, excuse me, hold on, wait a second. And then coming in and arguing with you.
Right. Like this, right. That's exactly as silly as that sounds.
That's what it feels like. I mean, this is, at the end of the day, a comedian is just a jester.
Yes.
That's it.
We're clowns.
It's like now you're arguing with the clown. Their life is sad enough.
Seriously.
And in the end, the heckler doesn't help the show.
Never.
They always think they're helping the show. When you see somebody throw down a hot ass tweet,
Absolutely.
and then here come a bunch of dudes talking about.
But what about?
Yeah. Hey, bitch, not all men. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bitch, you need to do this. Hey, all this interaction. Why do you get to tweet at LeBron James? On some real shit. Why do you get to tweet at LeBron James? LeBron James should have like a wall where your whack ass tweets just bounce off that shit.
They probably do.
And you don't even get to see them. You know what I'm saying? He's just like,
you should build an app.
You should.
For real.
You should build an app that does that.
Dude, because all it would have to be is a simple algorithm that...
Don't tell everyone else. Shut up.
Yeah. And you wonder why. Shut up. What are you doing? Ed, you're so stupid. Always giving you ideas on podcasts, getting them stolen.
LeBron listens to this. He's going to take that idea for himself.
Patreon at like mine.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Well, no, I mean, I do like Patreon, though, as far as like an idea, because my podcast, Nerd Goat podcast, is on Patreon. And I've heard, though, that Patreon might eat itself. Not trying to fuck your business up, but Patreon might eat itself because they're paying such good. Like, if you get an X amount of money, they keep their small chunk, give you your shit on time, dopely.
Yeah.
And like that business model isn't growing exponentially the way that some shareholders or whatever the fuck, higher ups want it to. So it might have to start, having worse services or charging more for
They're going to charge you more.
Yeah,
right?
I can understand that. I mean, we're only doing it right now just to be able to gain the funds, to be able to go public nonprofit and go through the process, but it all costs money.
Yeah.
And so it's just in the beginning. I'm going to actually take the taxes on that, so because it'll go to me directly. So I'll have to actually pay on it before we become a nonprofit. But I can see why that would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
One last thing I want to say about my struggle. Because this happened a few times this week. I just want to say really quick, because we talked about my Drake body pillow. That also got a reaction from someone I have in mind who is a comic. She saw the story where I posted me with my Drake body pillow. And she goes, "I'm judging you now." And I was like,
Why'd you tell me?
first of all, I've been judging you. No. But it was like I saw her at the store like last night.
Oh, somebody you knew?
Yeah, it's a comic. I said it's a comic.
I missed that part.
She was like, "I'm judging you now." And I was like, I took her hand. I said, "You know I'm a comedian, right?" And she was like, yeah. And I was like, "So why would you think that having a Drake body pillow was something that I actually... And if it was something that I actually snuggled with at night, do you think I would put it? There would be shame involved with that. Like, I wouldn't put an Instagram story about it. Like, clearly, this was for
that you didn't have shame for your, for your pillow.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah. I got a big problem with this lady.
Yeah, no. Oh, no, I'm actually going to have her on the podcast, and we're going to talk about it.
Oh, fun. Well, I have a problem in front of her.
Yeah, that'll be good. Well, yeah, no, I like drama. But again, like, this is for strictly... My handle is Jokes by Candice. If you take anything that I take, unless you... I do talk about serious things occasionally, but you'll know. You'll know when I'm being serious. For the most part, I'm just trying to entertain people.
And your joke structure is really good. I don't see how people wouldn't catch that.
I did a suicide joke on Instagram and Twitter. But no, most people...
Did you die?
I killed myself on my Instagram story. And then, again, most people were like, "This is ridiculous."
I've seen dead Candice.
I've seen dead Candice.
Many times.
Yeah. I stopped doing that because I didn't want to manifest it.
Smart. Very smart.
Wow.
But no, I posted, I said, if someone's really annoying and they kill themselves, are we still supposed to be sad?
Oh,
Which was like...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it was obviously just a thought that I had, but it's a silly... Obviously, so what if they're annoying? Yeah, you'd be a little sad if someone died. Anyway, but people were like...
That's a hot one. That's a hot topic.
Candice, suicide is not... They were like, what you should do. And I'm like, this is a joke. And it's like 98% of people will respond with a ha, ha, ha. And then there's that 2% that's just like,
Even if you respond, because I know inside I was like, ooh. Like that one for me was tough, only just because I've been making decks about people who commit suicide very recently.
But they weren't annoing. Think about
they weren't annoying.
That's what I'm saying. Think about an annoying person. Think about the most annoying person you know killing you. You'd be like, that's what I'm saying.
But
let me think of somebody that annoys me.
No, there are very simple truths that maybe aren't all the way jokes, but they're funny because the transgressive nature of saying something so
That's
honest.
what I mean. Like sometimes, but maybe it's just my ex-comedian side. Sometimes when something hurts and burns, it's still, I know it's funny, but it burned me because it's true and I respect its truth and I respect the fact that somebody had the balls to say it. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Right.
It gives me that reaction. But I certainly wouldn't fight. I would be like, I understand why you would feel that way.
Yeah.
There are plenty of annoying people out there that I wish weren't in my sphere.
Like, being funny and being around funny people is a dojo situation. Everybody show up with their karate gi on and they fucking tie their belt up and ain't nobody got no shoes on.
And too many people are wearing a black belt when they should have a yellow.
Oh, yeah, of course. Or a white. Yeah, white belt.
I don't even know the levels.
You just have your fucking multicolored fucking Ninja Turtle belts on and you'll be about to get down in here. And regular people, and the funny thing is when funny people are around, it's like you in a karate dojo and then a regular ass grandma with groceries and shit wandering off the street and get kicked in the neck. And she's like, I wasn't ready for all this shit. And you were just
dojo, grandma.
Dude, you just being funny.
I kicked that grandma.
Why you all up in here? You gonna get kicked. You knew you was gonna get kicked. Take your groceries.
Walking all slow with them bad knees and shit. I kicked both of them out. Pop, pop.
Ed, I would like to say that Ed has the best analogies.
Yeah.
Ed always will make you look at something and you're like, you're right. That was you couldn't have done that metaphorically any better way. Mm-hmm. What's your struggle, Brenda?
My struggle is that I tend to give people too much personal information. Like when I'll meet somebody and I feel really connected and compassionate. And so I'll have a conversation and then I'll start kind of going into something. And especially if I feel like it'll help them, I'll start telling them personal experiences that could
So when I was
potentially...
molested. We just met.
Maybe. Like I go in real hard. And I realize that it's because I don't judge other people for their circumstance. And so I forget that people
do.
And
I'm judging you right now. Just like I got judged for my Drake body pillow.
Yeah. And it kind of parlays a little bit. And so I'm learning how to get out of it. I don't really know. It's difficult. Because I still want to be true to myself.
Right.
It doesn't bother me to tell people, but I think it cuts off opportunities.
Oh, for sure. And, I will tell you. So I had a conversation with a comic a long time ago, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and he divulged too much personal information to me on the, it wasn't our first conversation we had. Obviously, we knew each other, but not well enough for him to be telling me the stuff he was telling me. Like, he was telling me about his family and, I think how his mom was a pathological liar and blah, 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 blah. And to me, that was a huge red flag. And I was like, oh. And I immediately thought, you're crazy. Because, and I'm just saying this because this is what people may think when you do that. And I know you're not crazy, but I'm just saying at the time, I was like, anyone who tells somebody this and you don't even know me like that.
Here's an example. So right before I came here, I was downtown LA at a coffee shop meeting people for the nonprofit. And I get into a conversation. We're talking for an hour, and we're talking about how the different types of programs that will help artists. And one of the things that we want to do is create some sort of program that lets people know the kind of toxins that can ignite your mental illness, which is really helpful. Yeah. And so then I have to speak from my experience and say, oh, that thing with my neck. Remember we talked? I use cortisone cream, and I'm susceptible to bipolar, and so which is usually managed for me. You've seen it. Please, why am I telling you like it's new? Why am I telling you like you don't know? Right?
Well, no, it's for the audience.
They know too.
They know.
That's what I mean. Everybody knows. And so, but I even though I'm saying it to help other people, and so I started telling the story and how it would be beneficial. But now I've just divulged that A, that I experienced bipolar, B, that I had a reaction, C, that I was in a state of mania. Even though it was for the sake of the
and
nonprofit.
They just sitting back there like, this bitch is crazy.
Well, I don't know. He did take my number.
He's shaking his head and he's like... Well, dudes do like smashing crazy bitches.
That's true. So, I don't know. It's a catch-22. I don't really know where to go.
Yeah, just stop doing it. Just filter. Just have a filter.
Filter how?
Just say how you say it. You can relate without saying all the details. You can tell that story without saying, just say I had an experience where I used something that was toxic for my body that I wasn't even aware of, and it triggered this. Just edit.
It's so not personal.
Of course, but
and
you can get personal.
People. I know. You're right about what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I get off on moving people.
That's my jam. I love moving people.
I do. I really do. I like to. I get off. My favorite thing about life is connecting with people in a really,
it's a great
really
feeling.
Intimate way, even strangers.
But this is my thing on that. Okay, if I can be,
please.
Okay, this is my thing.
I mean, I'm divulging it. Shit.
Okay, this is my thing. Okay, there's this guy. I used to hang out at this business. He used to come around and he would talk to you.
See, he's editing.
Boom.
Say what business?
Boom. So this fucker comes by the business. And he would always speak in these dulcet tones and try to say these profound things. And he would always come up with these facts and this and that. And he was like you, not like you as he was boring. You're not boring, but he was trying to blow your mind,
captivate
all
people.
the fucking time, and that's fucking sucks. And if you're doing that in a way to try to get people to see like the majesty of what you're.
I don't have an agenda. It's just a connection.
Yeah.
It's not to try. When I say move people, it's not to change people. It's different. He's trying to blow your mind and change you to get to think something different. That's fucking annoying. Yeah. And when somebody's projecting their beliefs onto you, that's also annoying. And that's an agenda. And that's an ego trip.
He was trying to sell something.
Yeah, it's himself, his ego.
Well, he was an actor. So yeah, he was trying to sell the fact that he was very.
I couldn't have given a bigger eye roll.
But that's.
As a matter of fact, they're on the floor.
Pick up my eyes, please. I rolled them too hard.
But you run into people who are just really trying to sell this yo, everybody out here is it's all a big crabs in the barrel. It's all fucked up, but I'm enlightened and I'm part of this life raft and let's go, let's float, let's all float.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get that.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. Because out here, it's like getting woke and getting smart about the world or getting more caring.
Yeah.
Is almost like a trend almost. You know what I mean? So it's like you start to, it's hard to filter out like what is appropriate, real conversation with people.
Right.
And what is a sort of performative act
for their own
I understand.
gain.
So my perspective, my experience of that is in having a real intimate conversation in which I can't talk about the weather. So part of the reason why I can't network, I do a show, I leave, like I can't.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at that because I only know how to just get into it.
Right.
I agree.
And so, yeah, you're like that too. That's why
I'm
we
very
get
much
along.
like that. Yeah.
And so that's what I'm talking about. And so when you have an intimate, that's what I mean by moving. And so when you have an intimate, real conversation, it moves the energy between you two and you're feeling it. And then, and only personal experience can back up that thing. But then
for sure.
the personal experience is then part of my struggle because I'm like, all right, now for the sake of moving things and getting us to feel and having a real experience in this moment.
Right.
Now I have, told you things that maybe I wouldn't have told you in another reality.
I think maybe just gauge the person on an individual basis and see whether or not, if you feel like maybe they let them tell you something kind of personal if they feel free to do that, then that's like, oh, you shared something personal with me. Now I can go a little bit further with you.
That is a good technique to do. Maybe I don't know what to do. I was like, maybe I should do it with Frank. Because I think about that and I go, you know what? That would be true. But to get somebody to open up is to open yourself up first and then let them. Right. And it feels good to have.
Maybe give them a little bit of something that's not as serious as like the bipolar or something. You know what I'm saying? Just give them a little bit of tidbit of a little bit of something. And then you can see whether if they pull back or if they, but good luck out here in LA where everyone's so superficial and narcissistic and like the most deep conversations you can have about who books that, right?
Yeah.
So anyway,
that was my struggle.
Ed, your turn. What you struggling with?
Oh man, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of them, obviously. But,
what do you mean, obviously?
Well, no, but come on. There's definitely a lot of. There are people who are struggling with some shit that you can see. You just look at this motherfucker and be like, oh, okay. That's a struggle. That's a struggle. That's a struggle. Hold on. Struggle around the ankles.
So Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Struggle around the ankles. What is that, gout? Or is that just ashy ankles?
You're carrying a lot of doubt around your ankles.
No, gout.
Oh, gout. Yeah. I was like, why is your doubt going to your ankles?
But I thank you for ending that. I appreciate your friendship. No, gout.
Oh, yeah. Gout is in the ankles.
But just a bunch of, I don't know. It just seems like, but I will say, I think my main one is I don't think I trust myself.
That's a serious one. I deal with that myself too.
I just learned trust myself a couple days ago. In what capacity don't you trust yourself?
Oh, all capacities.
Give us an example.
I was driving over here. I was very sure.
You thought you were going to crash?
No.
It happened to me because I was looking at Candice.
And I was singing "Shallow" by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga, like going in. So I didn't even notice it.
Actually, I was driving and I was just so furious about this J-Lo thing that I almost hit a fire hydrant. But no, I was rolling over here and I knew that it had the address correct. And I had it in my GPS and everything was fine. And I'm driving along and I hit a little patch and I'm like, what if this shit ain't right? And
GPS isn't right?
No, what if I didn't enter it correctly?
Oh.
Like literally, what if I didn't enter it correctly? Oh. I'm going to be racing towards the wrong shit, right? It's going to be that movie scene where you see the character racing and then they get to the shit and it's the wrong shit. It's like, oh, that shit you need is way over.
Yeah, it's closed.
And all of a sudden you've opened yourself up to look like some asshole in an 80s movie. So I'm
that
like.
was Brenda when
I was just thinking
here.
that. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I was like, I never think of that.
That's it. and that's the end result.
And that's why I was on East 8th Street
30 minutes late.
My first time coming here.
See? So it's best. See, and that's the worst part about it, though. When it's
cares?
No. When it's founded in some sort of reality, those are the worst phobias, right?
Yeah.
Like you'd be swimming in the ocean, right?
Yeah.
Ocean's supposed to be beautiful, dude. Ocean's supposed to be beautiful. It's got all, they can swim up your pee hole, shit, all kind of crazy shit's in there. So once you start thinking about what's all in there, some of the joy is gone. A lot of the joy.
When the fear starts making decisions for you, that's difficult.
But so it's like, but at the same time, if you were to go into a said environment without understanding any of that, then you'd be really stupid and opening yourself up to just like this guy in Australia, right? This guy in Australia had a fucking octopus in his hand. It was an octopus that was about 3 fucking inches long, and it was on his palm.
Oh no.
This fucking thing had more venom than Tom Hardy. This motherfucker, this thing had so much fucking venom it could kill like 57 horses or some hyperbolic term. And the bottom line is,
say that again.
He had a hyperbolic term. So popping fresh dough.
Sorry, I don't really flow, but that was important.
Papa John's. They're canceled. Did you know that? Anyway.
They've been canceled. I never liked their pizza in the first place. But anyway, they should have been canceled.
You wanted them never liked.
Never liked Papa John's.
Never liked.
Never did. That bread was thick and dry.
Since Genesis, I never liked.
I use the crust as a sponge to clean my counters. Dry and shit.
And it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
No, but what were we just talking about?
Wait, what happened to the guy with the octopus? Did he die?
Oh, yeah.
He died?
No, he didn't die. By the fucking grace of God.
So wait, why was he holding it?
Because it's just a little octopi. What could be dangerous about it?
He just picked it up from the ocean thinking, he wasn't like Brian Fellow where he knows.
Oh, no.
He's an animal.
Brian Fellow.
He's an animal specialist.
No, he didn't know. So what I'm saying is, what you don't know can fucking harm you. It can kill you very much.
For sure. So
what you don't know can also avoid your death as well.
That is true.
You know, that's
ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. And that guy didn't, I don't know that octopus do that. And you know what? Which means, can I just say one thing? And that means that when he picks up the octopus, he's going to be gentle, and the octopus is not going to feel threatened, and then he's not going to get stung.
That is
because
true.
he doesn't have that going on his head. But if the person who picks up the octopus, maybe he had to, maybe didn't, but has that thought in their head, they're going to have kind of strength or whatever, and then the octopus is going to get scared, and they're going to. So you're like creating your own bad karma.
Yeah, like a monk could have picked up that octopus, and he would have been completely fine.
Yeah, because the reason why people sting is to protect themselves.
I definitely agree with that up to a point, but there are people walking this earth who have been attacked by animals for no good reason.
That's their karma, not for no good reason.
Yeah, no, everything happens for a reason. Ed.
And not even, let's not say karmically.
I honestly don't want to get into that with you.
Hold on, let's not say karmically. Let's just say through the circumstance.
Ed is not a spiritual person.
No, let's not go spiritual.
No. I rebuke that.
Satan.
No, I rebuke that.
You go to Ed's place and he has seances. He sacrifices virgins.
As a matter of fact, those are horns on his head.
He drinks blood.
You don't have to be a Satanist
he watches
to
The
not
Craft
believe.
every week.
Listen, I'm not saying even that it's spiritual. I'm just saying if somebody goes up, like that guy with bears. Like if somebody goes up and thinks that he's going to have a relationship with bears, he's obviously sick. He's going to go and keep bothering them. After a while, the bear's going to attack them. That's what I mean by karma. Like you do something, you're going to get a reaction to it. So I'm not saying spiritually. I'm just saying
agree that this person. I definitely agree that this person not fucking karate chopping random octopi. Okay, I get that passes the litmus test for good.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Well,
but I'm just fucking saying, if you're walking through the jungle and a fucking boom slang, which is a long ass green ass snake, hops out of the tree and bites you in your fucking face, you did not have to have kicked children right before that.
No, of
you
course
did not earn that on some karma.
No, but you walked through a desert.
You were in the fucking jungle trying to be cool. You were trying to get an idol for a movie. You're Harrison Ford.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Jesus.
Yeah, what are you doing walking in the jungle?
What if Harrison Ford got crushed by that boulder?
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Is that karma? Come on, man. I don't get that. I don't get that, and I don't want to talk about it. So I just don't. I don't think I believe in my. I don't think I believe my first thought often enough. But oftentimes I'll get back around to it. I won't act on my first instinct. I'll act on my third instinct, which was the first one, after some stupid revision or some fearful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That's a waste of time, though. A lot of like analysis.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of energy.
Yeah, and anxiety.
Fuck yeah. That's why it's a struggle. Shit.
That's why I'm here.
I'm just sympathizing. Like,
no.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that lends itself, but also it lends itself to like, all the second guessing, like you're talking about, like you can't network. So you start thinking about it like, okay, how can I like network better? Yeah. And then you start thinking about fucking basic human interaction as some game you're going to play. You're no better than some kind of pickup artist. Yo, show a bitch 5 pictures, she'll suck your dick on the 6th picture. You know what I'm saying? It's that sort of thought process towards human interaction is fucking vile.
Yeah, but
it's vile.
It is vile.
So it's hard for me to go like, okay, how am I going to foster these relationships?
It's like game playing.
Yeah, and how can
I manipulate this person?
Like you and I.
You got to play long game.
Like the very first time that me and Candice hung out, the very first time, I violated one of your physical boundaries by untying your boot, and we started joking. And it was like, why did I know that was fucking okay on some level? Because I would never do that to anybody. Me and Candice had something right off the bat. I knew I was safe with her. I knew she wasn't going to spaz out and be like, I'm a pretty bitch from high school. I'm going to make you feel bad for even interacting with me. Wasn't that. She's super cool. And we interacted very easily. Yeah. And it was like, and I could use all my $17 words. And she was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, we had a kismet. It was like, that's some like old soul.
Right. We've known each other. Right.
Type shit.
Right.
That I feel that
from past lives
lot.
Or shit. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was a shorthand. Like right
you
off the
believe in past lives, but not karma.
I was just going to say it because he said he didn't want to talk about it. I was like, that's karma.
That's karma.
No, but I okay.
Anyway, but moving on from it.
But spirituality is just a junk drawer. And people can sometimes MacGyver some shit out of it. That's literally what I think.
You know what? It's
a bunch
awful
of shit
that
in
people
there.
use it to justify their opinions to get you to believe what they believe, and that sucks. But that's not what we're talking about.
No. I'm not even talking about organized religion, none of that shit. I'm talking about the actual concepts, like your concept of karma versus mine. Mine has got some little edges ripped off of it. It's taped up, but it works for me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we end up doing
for
spirituality.
Sure,
So, but like in that effect, you start to believe certain things very fervently, like. I believe that there must have been something, not necessarily something I did wrong, but some basic way of being that I started out doing when I was in, maybe my 20s, trying to start writing and doing stand up and shit like that. And like now I haven't resolved it yet because I started out wrong. Like it's almost like I believe in like these alternate timelines. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you make this wrong decision and now I'm stuck in this fucked up world.
He just saw Into the Spider-Verse.
Dude, but think of, Patton Oswalt said it a long time ago. This does seem like the evil universe. The one where, Trump wins.
It does. It does seem like we're in a bizarro world right now. Yeah.
Bad people triumph. Yeah. Fucking people lining up to, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but people lining up to watch shit like Game of Thrones or Sons of Anarchy, where it's basically a bunch of rape and murder all day. It's part of our psyche. Very entertaining. And no, it's part of our psyche. It's part of us dealing with that aspect of like,
it's true. Yeah.
The bad people win.
Yeah.
We love that now. That's in the 70s, they started doing that shit. In the 50s and 60s, bad people never won in movies.
Yeah.
In the 70s, when all that turmoil started happening and people couldn't even trust the president and shit like that. Yeah. All of a sudden, the bad guys start winning in the movies.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the bad guys start winning in movies, and people start going, "Oh, that's Chinatown," all this kind of shit. You start to see.
Like, why am I rooting for in Breaking Bad? Why am I rooting for the bad guy?
Right, and it's us processing the fact that like maybe life has gotten so fucked. A Good Place, the fucking Good Place, has a dope ass scene that elucidates basically the fact that it's gotten so fucking hard to make a decision that isn't. One that karmically can fuck somebody. You buy a cherry tomato. This cherry tomato isn't from a farmer's market 45 miles down the road. It's from fucking China. And you burnt up a bunch of gas, and then these Chinese farmers are being abused, blah, 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 blah. All these scenarios.
Karma that you didn't even, unintentional.
There's certain theories that say that it's impossible to make, in capitalism, it's impossible to make a choice or a purchase that doesn't have a direct moral impact.
Yeah, we talked about this,
And it's like, whoa.
Capitalism is fucked,
So I can't buy a Twix to get fatter so I can go to the emergency room, get my foot chopped off on this diabetes.
I love that you abbreviated diabetes.
Hey, man, I ain't got time. I ain't got time for beats.
Diabetes by Dre.
I know I'm going off this weird rant, but all I'm saying is it's getting to the point where when you really look at each choice, it's almost horrifying. And I understand this whole Zen thing of like, don't agonize over stuff.
Keep looking at me when you keep saying Zen.
No.
You keep pointing at me.
No, because you. I think you infected her because she was a lot
infected.
You're like, she didn't give a fuck about anything until she started talking to you.
Oh no, I mean,
she was mean as shit.
Fact. And don't get it twisted.
But
I'm
no,
still
you're mean as shit too. So so you're like mean spiritual. You're like the monk on the steps. That's like, you're not good enough to enter the temple. You hit him in the
That
head.
is not true. I can see why if you haven't talked to me in 5 years, you would believe that.
No, I'm just saying that. That's.
But I understand everything
I do
that
not
you're
see
saying.
you. I do not see you like that.
That's okay. It's
No, for real. I don't see you as
you
an
hurt my
angry
feelings.
monk.
It's okay. It's fine.
angry monk.
Just kidding.
I do not see you as an angry
That
monk.
actually could be a character for you.
Oh, that would be great.
I think
though.
Eddie Pepitone did something like that. Bitter Buddha.
Bitter Buddha.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Much
Yeah.
respect. Much respect to the great Eddie
So,
Pepitone.
Yeah, he's great.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying, how everything has an effect. And that's why it's important to educate yourself on everything, even sustainable farming for yourself. Like, you have to at this point because it's gotten bad. But everything, even if you just look at history, it goes in cycles. Everything will repeat itself. From mathematically the Fibonacci sequence to history of the Nazis. Like, I mean, it all cycles back. And so, yeah.
Nazi shit's happening right now.
Yeah. It is. And we're in a space and we know a little bit more, so they have to twist it a little bit to hide, like the idea of propaganda. But then people like us and that keep talking about it and that are removing themselves from social media and not watching those movies, that we're not going to pay money and it's not going to have any value anymore. And then it's going to switch. Because look at sitcoms. Sitcoms started out like I Love Lucy, and you had that thing. And then it was like in the 80s, it went, in the 70s, it got a little wonky with like Three's Company. And
Welcome Back, Kotter.
Welcome Back, Kotter got a little bit wonky. And then they wanted to
Women
clean it
not
up in
being
the 80s.
married.
Now we're
Yeah. Then they wanted to clean up in the 80s. We went Family Ties.
Golden Girls.
Yep. And then we switched it in the 90s and we went Roseanne and it was the anti-family. And then it went back, what is it, in the 2000s? What? I kind of stopped paying attention after that.
Friends. Well, that was
Yeah.
90s too, kind
It
of.
was 90s.
But Will and Gracious, kind of.
Yeah, it was
I
like,
don't know.
okay, so like it was like unconventional but family values. And
Yeah.
it kind of merged them. And so it's just going to keep doing that. But the only way it's going to change is if we stop paying attention to it. And we start paying attention to
true.
ourselves and creating our own communities that do sustain and live in a certain way. Even like being your own sovereign nation financially.
Yeah.
Right.
Is also a thing that most people don't know about. It's on the fucking dollar bill. You look at it,
Yep.
if you learned and then you understood how to create that for yourself, and then you start avoiding different types of like tax circumstances. But because we don't know it, we don't educate ourselves, we get frustrated and we get stuck in that anxiety pipeline. So I hear what you're saying. And even outside of spirituality and metaphysics, it's still scientifically it exists just in the pattern of history.
For sure.
Right.
Which is where I'm coming from also when I say karma. It's not from a spiritual place. It's a cause and effect. It's a what goes up, goes down. It's a relativity space.
duality,
I can certainly get
Right.
with that in a lot of respects. I just
You just got a little upset when we mentioned it. I mean, you threw your hands up in the air.
No, but this is okay. But this is what
Your
this
face got red.
No, but this
You
is what
text
I'm
your
saying.
mom in the middle of it. Come here.
No, this is what I'm saying. There are things that happen, like when that guy got shot in his apartment by that murderous cop lady who
The black dude who got shot by the white lady.
and maybe they had some relationship previously.
Is that one of the theories?
That's one of the theories. But the bottom line is, he's chilling in his house. A lady cop busts open his shit.
Yeah.
And comes in and murders him in his house.
Shoots him.
And I heard people saying, "Oh, I wonder what he did to earn that." First of all,
Those people aren't talking about karma, though.
This is my soapbox. Some of them were, and the problem is, it starts to become this sort of when did a black dude ever have to like earn?
Wait, hold on a second.
Death
Though.
in this country?
This isn't about spiritual karma. This is just about, let's talk scientifically and physically. If I came up and punched you in the face, which
I would,
which I'm about to do.
I would enjoy if you did it
No, but seriously, if I came up and punched you in the face, right?
after the show.
And then you didn't do anything about it, right? But you just grin and bear it, but you were pissed off. And then you went and you talked to Clee about it.
I
She
like
was
this
really
scenario.
mad. Hold on. And she was really mad, right? And then she was really mad, let's say. And then she was talking about it in the community of comedians, right? And then now there's a bunch of people that hate me, right? And then all of a sudden I get this bright idea that I want to hit it a year later, that I want to hit an open mic. And now a bunch of people, now I start doing this struggle with Candice. So now my name is kind of popping up. And every time my name maybe pops up, because Candice is popular and successful, my name kind of pops up and they all go, she fucking punched Ed on that podcast. You'll never believe it. And they're like, she's a fucking asshole. What a fraud. Oh, I guess she's all spiritual, but she's a fucking asshole. Yeah. Now they're having this conversation about me. I'm creating a reputation, right? Then I go to an open mic. where some of these people are. And hey, I happen to have some kind of bipolar experiences, and sometimes at open mics I lose my mind. I have a reputation of doing that. History repeats itself. So I go in and I act like an idiot, right? And at the same time, one of these people that's Clee's friends gets into a car accident and walks in, right? And he's pissed off. Or she's pissed off. And then she walks in and I'm having a bipolar circumstance and I say something annoying to her and she walks up and punches me in the face. Now, you don't think that circumstance is possible, that I might have earned that due to my reputation, due to things that I've done physically, through history repeating itself.
Me personally,
I'm just saying, can you recognize that?
I just don't need my justice via Rube Goldberg machine.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't.
That's all I'm saying.
You might be mad about that, and you don't want to look at it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, is my point.
Right.
And so when those people say, and I'm just, look, Ed, all I'm trying to do is alleviate a little bit of anxiety and thought, okay? So that's my...
I don't like chutes and ladders determining.
But chutes and ladders...
What the fuck? You got the little pop-up thing, the boop, 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 with the fucking dice inside of the shit, the boop, boop. I just don't like that.
I get it, but it exists.
Okay.
Like chutes and ladders are there, is my point. And you're getting so anxious that there's chutes and ladders that it's causing, anxiety from point A to point B. But
fucking Connect 4, man.
You're a Connect 4 kind of guy?
Yeah.
And Connect 4 is, there's only so many choices, but there's still so many choices.
Yeah.
There's only so many choices, but there's so many. I even like that with my video games. I like video games that are just like, you learn how to play the motherfucker, and then you can play it all types of different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't need to just do something over and over again. I like to just,
right.
Anyway, so the bottom line is, can somebody shut that shit? Basically, the bottom line is, I really believe that over the course of time, I'm getting a little bit better. Like, I've learned one thing. It's like 89% of the time, by my informal study, 89% of the time, it's worth it to leave your house, no matter what the fuck happens.
For sure.
89% of the time.
Yeah.
Now, there's a hardcore percent of the time that's like, Jesus, this was such a waste of time. I fucking paid $6 to park.
So you think.
This is
that's just your perspective.
Blah, blah, blah. All I'm saying is
you don't want to hear it.
After the Rube Goldberg.
Have you met Ed?
Did you just want to tell us? Or do you want to like kind of, do you like, is this anxiety serving you? That's the only question I want to know. Is it serving you?
No.
So then why are you so unreceptive to hearing another perspective?
No, I'm just saying.
I love you.
I don't want to personally have, again, the thing about how I understand that these things that I'm going through impact the future. But all I'm saying is, okay, fine. 19% of the time, 19% of the time, you can't see how God is working. It is happening.
This isn't about God or spirituality. This is just about Ed getting to the place on time.
This has nothing to do with
This is about Ed getting to the podcast on time without having anxiety. It's got nothing to do with metaphysics. It's got nothing to do with spirituality. It has to do with controlling your own thoughts.
Ed, we talk about this all the time with you, like how you perceive things and how it's all in your head and how you can create, like,
and this is most
your
people.
mindset.
Everybody does it in a certain example, in a certain circumstance. I just went through having like a heartbreak, and I have to like recondition my mind because I'm always thinking about my heart being broken, and I have to go, stop those thoughts. Those don't belong to you. Move forward and think about the nonprofit.
It's just going to dictate.
I have to do that.
I do subscribe to every
Why'd my voice
every
get so
thought.
high?
Every
I
thought.
have to do that. I went Michael Jackson.
Every thought.
From Jackson 5.
You are not every thought you have. I do agree with that.
You're not any
because
thoughts
I have some horrible thoughts that I know I don't want to ascribe to me, but there's something maybe part of my machine that's processing through stuff. That's why people who act are people who are great comedians, or they end up using some of those dark parts
for sure.
But they don't just eschew them. They don't just shun them.
Yeah,
they find a place in their memory palace. If you've ever read those fucking Hannibal Lecter novels, he basically has this.
You wonder why you have anxiety. You're reading Hannibal Lecter.
I read them right before I go to bed every night.
You're placing it in your subconscious. It's on replay, and you're like, but stand-up comedians are successful at this. Right. You're just like,
but you have a shelf for everything. And obviously,
if you don't have control of your shelf, that's what we're talking about. If those people are successful at doing that and they're living balanced lives, being able to pick
lives,
fine, and that's another thing. But let's just say that they're balanced and happy for the sake of this conversation, and they're able to take a circumstance that they're not emotionally attached to, and the habit is not running them in fear. Then they could take something off the shelf and put it in because it's not really in their subconscious. So, but if you're being run by your subconscious and these thoughts, so much so that it's dictating how you experience life going from point A to point B, then it would serve you to start doing some kind of like techniques to be able to clear your mind.
Right.
Yeah, very obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you about how it is presently.
Yeah, no, I know. And we're trying to, remember when I was telling you how it was and you guys were telling me things that I could do to maybe not do that as friends? Remember that time? And I was like, let me think about that.
Same thing, Ed. Yeah.
Well, no, but do you know that I notice very much that everybody loves to be the advisor and nobody wants to be the advisee.
Well, you know what? In that circumstance, Ed, I was the advisee for about 10 minutes.
She was.
Yeah, and you guys, and I was receptive because I love you as friends. And so that's what we were doing here.
No, come on, man. It's not tense. You're trying to karate chop this.
Tits?
It's not tense.
Oh, like it's not tits. What are you bringing up my tits for?
I can't even see him. I can't even see him with your fucking Annie Hall scarf over him.
I know.
Fucking Prudence.
That was strategic.
What's up with this?
She knew. I told her, I was like, we got Ed coming today. She was like, let me put my scarf on.
What's up with this sudden prudence? I was coming down here to see some tits.
That's actually the scarf she keeps in her closet specifically for when she has interactions with you.
Yeah, when I take it off, it says Ed.
It's the same complexion as you. That's how she remembers.
I love Brenda, and I love you guys together as like a little unit. And I do love the fact that your spirituality is rubbing off on me, but it's like, you know.
Is that the sore point? Because I'm like, why do you keep bringing up spirituality?
You know, I said it once, and I in that moment, I was saying it in a jocular manner. I wasn't saying.
Oh, and it got stuck in his head. It's playing on rewind.
But also
it's playing on autopilot.
Yeah,
is that what's happening?
That's all he's heard this whole entire time.
Also, again, if the spiritual does exist, then talking about the science of something is almost like not paramount. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true because everything is one and the same. It's just, do you have an emotion? Yes. Do you have meat on your bones? Yes. Like, do you have different parts of your aspect of you?
I'm just saying the scientific part of me doesn't help me live life in a non-fearful fashion. Like I told you about that fucking octopus.
I don't think anything leaves you in a non-fear
I'm not touching anything.
No,
in the
and that's just deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I shouldn't pick up an animal that's a foreign, strange, right?
That's the problem. My mind, I think that's where the wires are crossed. My mind sees general prudence and general good, solid decision making.
She owes me money.
General solid decision making. I find that conflated with a lot of other risk averse.
Yeah, like you talk about, activities. We have to wrap this up. We got to wrap this up. But even when you're driving, we talked about how paranoid you are when you drive because of cops, which as a black man, you should be. But at the same time, I think you've driven with other black men and they're like, dude, you got to pick up the speed a little bit, right? Like you're the most of all you could have 17 black men in your clown car, right? And you would be the most paranoid out of all of them.
I can't imagine what that feels like. Because I get a little paranoid when I see cops.
No, I know.
So and I straighten up. I'm like, a whole bunch of thoughts happen. I get 2 and 4.
Your armpits start sweating.
Yeah, it gets weird, you know?
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that must be like for a black man.
Right. Well, black people in general, it's...
Worse for black men, though.
It is worse for black men, for sure, because women are not perceived as threatening as men. So for that reason only. But women be getting shot, black women be getting shot by the cops too, and I don't want to dismiss that because that shit happens too. And they be dying for no reason in prison. Shout out to Sandra Bland.
I wish I knew these people are.
I know.
But I'm sorry that it happened to them. I don't watch any news.
No, I definitely, you're not detached. I understand that you're trying to keep your own mental health. So, yeah, dude. I'm sorry I didn't take to your advice very well.
Ed, I was just, I was just on the podcast.
Look at Ed, a black man being vulnerable
to a white woman.
No, but just in general.
Yeah.
But
a busted shiver roll, but we're going to be in fucking To Kill a Mockingbird.
Thank you for saying that, and I didn't feel that way. I really was just genuinely trying to help you, and I didn't want it to get heated.
No, it
wasn't going to get heated.
No, I'm a little defensive because it's like but that's the problem. Though.
I'm glad you said that.
And I understand as we wrap up. That's the thing that makes being vulnerable so hard, because once you open yourself up, then all of a sudden people got all this shit to say. You're like, hey, hold up. Build the dam back up with all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go back to being fucking chilly chill. Nobody really delving into anything.
Right,
it goes back to your struggle of
I was gonna say,
wanting a real connection in each of your interactions. And I'm just like, nah, nigga, all those real connections ain't necessary. You know what I'm saying? And, sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just, and sometimes you feel like you're preserving something, but you might be preserving your own insecurities instead of just connecting with somebody.
For sure.
Ed, you're very smart.
Ed's brilliant. And I have said this, well, that's why we, because I'm also brilliant. So we connected.
and brilliant sees brilliance.
Brilliant recognize brilliance, right? But like I have always fucked with Ed from day one. We get along, our sensibilities comedically, just like you and me, Brenda. Like, it's like when you meet good people, it's like, I fucks with you. And so I want to work with, that's why I worked with you. I'm working with you now. Ed, we write together all the time. And Ed, I work with you because you are so fucking funny and you are so super smart, and you challenge me to be like smarter and like want to be more knowledgeable about things. You too, Brenda. So it's like, that's why I fucks with. I only fucks with people that like can add to me and pushing me to be a better person.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should do that. You're welcome. I love you guys. And thank you, Ed, for coming. This was great. You guys, thank you for listening to The Struggle. Again, if you have not subscribed, make sure to do that now. We're on YouTube for videos, so make sure you do that. But also, we are available on all platforms where you can find where you listen to other podcasts. Rate and review us on iTunes. And then also, if you haven't told somebody about the podcast, do that immediately. That is so important to just word of mouth. That's how it gets around. And you can find me, Jokes by Candice, on social media, and Candice Thompson Comedy for my shows. Brenda, one more again.
You can find me on Instagram at Brenda Colonna, Collonna, and you can find my Patreon for Like Minds also on the link from my Instagram.
Yes.
Oh, and Ed.Greer. I mean, fuck.
It is like this pressure.
No, for real.
Ed Greer.
That is his email, right?
At AOL.com.
Stop giving your social security number as a plug.
Hey.
He's still on dial-up.
It starts with...
He's like, you can find me at 106-642-biz 3451.
.ca. No, okay. Okay. Ed Greer Destroys on Instagram. Ed Greer Destroys on Twitter.
I'm going to follow you.
Thank you. And you can catch me. You can catch me on Screen Junkies every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard, and you can watch it on YouTube.
Time? Why?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention to the beginning of it.
Jesus.
Standard. I was like, why?
Screen Junkies on YouTube.
Yeah, Screen Junkies. Screen Junkies on YouTube. And also,
your podcast.
My podcast is Nerd Goat Podcast, and basically it is just us having interesting people like you on, and we're going to have Brenda on because she's officially bullied her way into my heart. So,
as I do.
The podcast is called Nerd Goat.
Tell them what it's about.
Our podcast, that you can catch them at nerdgoatpodcast.com. The podcast is basically interesting people coming on to talk about their favorite fictional character, their nerd greatest of all time.
Mine was Elphaba from Wicked.
Yeah, and we had a great conversation with you about, how you're like a witch. But like in a good way and a bad way. You know what I'm saying?
You'd be a white witch, unfortunately.
You just reminded me I left my cauldron on. So I have to get out of here.
But yeah.
You call me a white witch?
You'd be a white witch if you're a good witch. Sorry.
Why?
Because that's what they call them, white witches.
Why the good witches gotta be
they
white?
Do?
Yeah.
They call them white witches?
Hey,
yeah.
Def Jam Broadway.
And what do they call them?
I don't know. Now that you question me, I'm starting to question it. Like, fuck, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I said something
I think that's what you call them.
No, I think that's right.
You racist.
Look it up. I think so.
No, but anyway, so nerdgoatpodcast.com. You can rate and review us on iTunes. Nerd Goat Podcast.
Subscribe.
And we've had a lot of interesting people on, a lot of writers, comedians, artists, people in the industry. So it's a good listen.
It's a great podcast. One of my favorites that I did. And
5-star rated.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right.
Take a listen.
I'd love to be
and
on that.
Ed is one of my favorite people, so follow him on all platforms. He's also a really dope artist. If you need anything, go on his Instagram and you will see he's a really dope artist. So support him. Support Ed. That's my new podcast, Support Ed. You guys, till next time.
Bye.